Hello students, welcome back to the next session of software engineering. In today's session, we shall be starting with the second chapter related to unit number 5, in which we will be covering a concept called as cloud computing. So along with that, we will be learning what do we mean by cloud computing, what makes it special, what are the different types of cloud systems and cloud services, how AWS is helping us to use this cloud computing, and how to create and use various cloud tools to run the applications. So let's begin our session today by understanding what do we mean by cloud computing. See, basically cloud computing means you can use things like storage, software, etc. over the internet. So you don't need to purchase any devices like servers, hardware and all. Instead, you use these resources when you need them and pay only for what you use. Okay, example, like you can take you are saving your photos online in Google Photos, iCloud and all, so that they don't take much space of your mobile phone. Similarly, you have renting a car portal where you rent a car whenever you need and you pay only for the time you have used it instead of purchasing a new car, right? So this is what is called as cloud computing. Now, what do you think makes cloud computing more interesting? Why do you think cloud computing is a special thing now in the market, right? Because of three main features. The first feature is called as always available. So your cloud computing is always available to you. You can use your data or software anytime from anywhere. It's just like, a tap. So whenever you want water, you just need to turn the tap and you get the water the same way. The second feature you have is scalability. So depending upon the usage, if you need more storage or more power, you can immediately get it. If you don't need much service, then you can immediately reduce it. It's just like the air inside the balloon. Depending upon the size of the balloon you want, you can increase or decrease the air inside it. The third important feature you have is pay only for what you use. Pay as you go. So you only pay for the time or the space you are using. It's just like paying for the amount of electrical units we have used. Okay, how much electricity I use, that much bill only I'm going to pay. It's the same thing. So because of these three features, your cloud computing is special now, currently. Now, your cloud computing, depending upon its usage and depending upon the service it is providing, is divided into two types, as you can see here. The first one is called as cloud deployment and the second one is called as cloud service. Okay, cloud deployment is also called as cloud systems and this is called as cloud service. Now, under cloud deployment or cloud systems, you have three types: public cloud, private cloud, hybrid cloud. And under cloud services, you again have three types: infrastructure as service, platform as service and software as service, right? So let's look into each of them in detail. Let's start with the first one, which is called as cloud deployment. So depending upon how my cloud computing is used, it is divided into three types. The first one is called as public cloud. So what is happening in this type of cloud is the cloud can be used by many users. Okay, this is shared by many users. And basically it is managed by companies like Amazon, Google, IBM and all. So you can take example like a public library where anyone can come and borrow the books. Okay, so if anybody can use the cloud service, then that comes under the category called as public cloud. The second one you have is private cloud. So private cloud is only for a particular company or group of companies. It is like more secured and controlled. Okay, so you can take example of your school library where only the students and teachers belonging to that particular school only can have access. Such type of service cloud usage is called as private cloud. The last one you have is hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is basically a combination of public cloud and private cloud. So some things are shared, some are not shared, some are private and all. So you can take example of a bakery where it is selling products to the public, but it is having a private kitchen for its secret recipe. So it is not showing how is the recipe being followed and all, right? So such type of cloud access is called as hybrid cloud. So these are the three different types of cloud deployments, or also called as cloud systems. Now let's talk about types of cloud services. So depending upon the services that your cloud is offering, it is divided into three types: infrastructure as service, platform as service, and software as service. Let's talk about each of them. So talking about the first one, which is called as infrastructure as service. So here what we are trying to do is, here your cloud basically provides basic tools, like it provides servers, storages and all, and you have to manage how they work. So it's like renting an empty plot of land, and there you are trying to build whatever you want. That is called as infrastructure. So it's not giving you everything ready made. It is only giving you parts. It is giving you services. It is giving you storage. It is giving you networks. So you have to bring them together according to your need, and you have to make sure that they are working as you want. Okay, that is called as infrastructure. The next one you have is platform as service. So here what your cloud will do is, it will give you tools to make applications without worrying about the hardware. So it's just like giving you a fully equipped kitchen where you can directly go and cook without buying any appliances. That is called as platform as service. The third one you have is software as service. Here what your cloud will do is, it will give you ready to use software. So you don't need to install anything, you need not manage anything, everything is ready made. Okay, example you can take is like the Gmail that you are using, the Google Docs on your online you are using directly. That becomes an example of this software as this service. So depending upon the services that are provided by your cloud computing, it is divided into infrastructure as service, platform as service, and software as service. Right? Now let us understand, let's see how AWS helps us to use the cloud. So basically what do you mean by AWS? AWS is called as Amazon Web Services. Okay, so basically AWS is a company that gives us tools to work on the cloud. So you can build, run, manage your applications and data without buying big servers. Okay, so AWS is a company that is giving us all these tools online on the cloud. Right? Now let us look into some important AWS tools that we have. The first one we have is Amazon EC2. This is the one which we have worked in our lab sessions, Amazon EC2. So this is basically helps us to create virtual servers to run the applications. So it's like booking a hotel room for a very short stay. Right? The second one you have is Amazon S3. This will help you to store files safely online. So it's like an online locker where you can keep your documents. The next type you have is Amazon RDS. So this will help you to organize and store your data. It's like hiring an assistant to keep your files in order. The next one you have is Amazon VPC. This will help you to create a private space for your resources. So it's like having your own office in a shared building. Right? And the next one you have is AWS Lambda. So this basically helps you to run your code only when needed, and that too automatically. Okay, it's like a sensor that will help you to turn your lights when someone is entering. Okay, so these are the famous AWS tools that are available. Okay, so you have the Amazon EC2, Amazon S3, you have RDS, you have VPC, you have Lambda. There are many more, but these are the famous ones that are under use. Now let's talk about the various steps that are used to set up a cloud system. So we'll see step by step how we can set up a cloud. So firstly you have to sign up. That means you have to create an account on the AWS website. So this is basically the installation steps that you have done. So you have to create an account on the AWS website. Then you have to log in onto your account to open the AWS dashboard. Okay, then you have to explore the services where you will be learning about the tools like EC2 for servers, S3 for storages and all. Then you have to launch the server. So you will use EC2 to create a virtual machine here. Then you set up the storage. Okay, you use S3 to store your particular files. Then you configure networking, so you use VPC to set up a network. Then you monitor the resources. Okay, to track the performance of your application, you use something called as CloudWatch, and you monitor your resources. And then you perform secure access, so where you are giving user permissions. Okay, using this user permissions, you can control the access of whatever the virtual machine that you have created. So these are the various steps that can be used to establish or to set up a cloud system. Okay, now let's talk after setting up a cloud system. Okay, you are ready with your server. Then how can we deploy any application? Deployment in the sense running. How can we run any web application on the server, cloud server that we have established? So in the previous slide, we have seen how to establish a server. Now we will see the steps of deploying or running any application on that particular server that we have created. So what is deploying? Deploying means basically any application means hosting it on the server so it can be accessed by the users online. So let's look into the steps. There are 5 easy steps which are common for any application that you want to deploy on the cloud. The first step you have is upload code to the GitHub. So what you have to do, you have to save your application code online using the GitHub. Second, launch a server. So you can use AWS EC2 to create a server. Third, set up a Docker. So you will install Docker to manage your application. Fourth, run the application. So you will use Docker to start the application. Fifth, access the application. So you will open the app using the server's public IP in a browser. So if you have worked with the exercises related to AWS, you will understand all these 5 steps. So we have created a small application, we pushed it into GitHub. Then we have created a EC2 virtual server. Okay, the application from the GitHub is converted into Docker image, and then we are running it as Docker container. And finally, using the public IP address that is available in this particular server, we are trying to view the output on the browser. So these steps are common, and it is a compulsory question that you will get also. Okay, so this is all about the brief of your cloud computing in your unit number 5. So to have a quick review, cloud computing, let's us use basically the resources over the internet instead of buying the hardware. This is the first point we have learned. Secondly, we have learned that it is always available, it is scalable, and it is also pay as you go. The third thing we have seen is there are 3 types of cloud deployments: public, private, hybrid. And then we have seen there are 3 services that are given by your cloud: infrastructure as a service, platform as service, software as service. Okay, and lastly, AWS is used to give us the tools like EC2 and SC3 to work on the cloud. These are the things we have learned. Okay, thank you.